Hey, what's going on, guys? Austin here with Everything Anything COD, back with another Scuf video, and just as I promised, we're going to be doing a full in-depth review of the Scuf Infnity 4PS Pro Controller. And just like the Impact, I will be going over, the ergonomics, the playability, the different customization options you can do to make it your own controller, and my personal opinion of what I think is the best controller between this and the Impact. Now, both of these, the Impact is a brand new controller they came out with, and they did redesign this a little bit, so I'll be going over that as well. And I'm just going to be giving you my honest opinion and what I think is the best controller and what I think about the Infnity 4PS overall, because again, I am not getting paid for any of this. I just ordered both of the controllers, one for me and one for my fiance, and I'm just going to be telling you what I think about both of these. I have had good playtime with both of them, so I'll give you my honest opinion on what I think you should buy, and I'll give you details and you can make that decision for yourself. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. Please give me that thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below so you can always tune into my new content. And let's go ahead and get right on into the video. Alright guys, so first thing I would like to start off with the Infnity 4PS Pro is how it feels and how it feels compared to the Impact. Now, the Infnity 4PS Pro, as well as all the previous Scufs, are just a normal shaped, size, feel PS4 controller with obviously your added paddles on the back, and that's pretty much the main difference. They do as well with the Impact and the 4PS Pro. They do have the same grip. It is the Scuf military grade grip, so that feels the same as well, and it just feels the same as any of your other standard PS4 controller. Now, compared to the Pro is, or not compared to the Pro, compared this to the Impact is a little bit wider. It is 6 millimeters wider. So it is a little bit bigger in your hands, and it almost looks like the Xbox controller in a way. But I will go over what I think here in a little bit, what I think is the best option as far as comfortability and pressing the paddles. So as far as your customization options go, the Impact and the Infnity 4PS Pro are going to be exactly the same except for one major thing, which for me, this is a big deal. The Infnity 4PS Pro, and I believe as all the other Scuf controllers, they are not compatible with your standard PS4 thumbsticks. And that might not be a big deal to you guys, but that is a huge thing to me because I use Control Freaks. I will always use Control Freaks, and they really don't fit on these thumbsticks. You can kind of force them on, but they don't really stay too well. They'll fall off a lot. And just to let you, I wanted to give you that heads up because if you use Control Freaks, you will not be able to use them with the Infnity 4PS Pro because they will not fit on Scuf's thumbsticks. So if you're going for an Infnity 4PS Pro, I would just recommend getting a longer right thumbstick to simulate the Control Freak feel. Now, as far as the way the paddles feel on this, I mean they do feel good. You do still have your usual Scuf clicky sound. They do feel nice. But this is the thing. You think that the paddles on the Infnity 4PS Pro would be easier to get to than the Impact, but personally, I feel they're not, and this is why. Now, it might seem kind of backwards because the Impact is a bigger controller, but let me explain why. So your paddles right here on the back are in pretty much the same position as they have always been on the Scuf PS4 controllers. These do have a little bit of a curved design to them, so they do kind of fit your finger a little bit better, in my opinion, than the previous models. But this is the reason why I think the Impact is easier to get to, even if you have smaller hands. Me, myself, I have bigger hands, and that is one reason why I like the Impact controller. But even though I have bigger hands, I still believe the Impact would be better for people with smaller hands, because if you look, that is the paddle placement on the Infnity 4PS Pro. Now, the Scuf controller obviously has 4 paddles, so they had to kind of squeeze them in there a little tighter. So for your first paddle on the Impact controller, it's going to be more touching, it's going to be a lot closer to your right, your grip over here. So you're pretty much, your finger is going to be right here, and it lays to rest in a perfect position. And when I am playing with the Infnity 4PS Pro controller, I feel that I'm almost stretching my fingers a little bit to get to the buttons. Now, I'm not really, stretching them a lot, but I just feel that, personally, the paddles on the Impact are more comfortable for me because your fingers just literally, as soon as you grab the Impact controller, they rest right on it. And so let me go ahead actually, I will pause the video real quick and go grab my controller and come right back, my Impact controller, so I can show you guys exactly what I mean on camera. I didn't think to bring it out here with me, but let me go ahead and go grab that so I can show you guys exactly what I mean. Alright guys, so we are back with my impact controller, and so this is what I mean. You can see here, now it does have 4 paddles, but when you grab the controller and hold it like normal, my fingers literally they're right on the buttons. I mean, I don't even have to squeeze in my hands or anything to reach them. I just hold it like normal, and my 2 middle fingers are literally right there. And I think that would even be better for people with smaller hands. My little brother, who's almost 15 years old, he held my impact controller as well as the Pro, and he didn't say necessarily with the Pro that he had to really reach to get to the paddles, but I would definitely say it was easier for him to get to these just because of where they lay. Like I said, they lay really close to your grip over here on both sides. They're really close. So your fingers just naturally lay in that position. Now if I pick up the Infnity 4PS Pro here, you can see that I kind of have to stretch my fingers a little bit more, and that is the reason why I prefer the impact. Now, if you don't want the 4 paddles, you say, I'm never going to use 4 paddles, that's ridiculous. Well, you know, that's fine, but you can still take these paddles off. The way they did design the impact controllers, you can remove the paddles. You can see in that little plastic clip up there, it just pops and slides out. I'm not going to go ahead and do that, but you can remove the 2 inside ones so you just have the 2 outside ones. And that is the same that they did for the Infnity 4PS Pro controller, which I really like. That's one of the main new features they added to this. It has the same little plastic piece up there, and this will just pop out. You just kind of pull it out a little bit, slide it up, and you can remove these as well. So that's a big thing that they did with the Infnity 4PS Pro controller. So if you have problems with your paddles breaking, because you know that's been a big thing in the past with Scuf, then you can just order replacement paddles from online. I believe they're $12.95 for a 2-pack, and that's a good feature that they added to this. Now, keep in mind, like I said, it is $12.95 for a 2-pack for your replacement paddles. With the Scuf Impact, if any of these paddles break, a 4-pack, because these have 4 paddles, is still $12.95. So it might even, in that aspect, be a little cheaper to go with the Impact controller. If you want to talk price point on these controllers, the Scuf Infnity 4PS Pro is only $10 cheaper than the Impact. Now, of course, it decides on color options and what kind of customization you go with. But for me, when I ordered online, I did the Max Year Scuf, and they do it at a certain price. So the Max Year Scuf, which basically means they give you every single feature available, for the Infnity 4PS Pro controller was $179.99. The Max Year Scuf for the Impact controller with all the features was $189.99. So for $10 more, you get 2 extra paddles just in case you ever want to use them, and just in my opinion, get a more comfortable feeling controller. And what I did was, I believe the controllers, you know, they are pricey. It is a Scuf controller. I believe the price came out to like $200 on this controller, and it came out to $212 on my Impact controller. So it really wasn't a huge difference, and that's why I got the Scuf Impact, was because I didn't even think I was going to end up using all 4 paddles, which I actually do now, and I really, really like it. But for an extra $10, why not just go ahead and get the newest and latest and greatest thing that they have came out with. Another thing that the Impact has that the 4PS Pro does not is they came out with a cable retention system. You can see this plastic lip right here, and that basically just extends the life of your USB cable, your connector. Because what it does is when you stick that in there, it's not just going to hang straight down. It's going to come out just a little bit, and then it's going to start going down. With the regular PS4, the Infnity 4PS Pro controller, any other Scuf model, they do not have this. It's just your normal USB port. So when you put your USB cable in there, it's just going to hang straight down, which is going to tug on the cord more, and then basically it'll decrease your duration a little bit. So as far as everything else goes, guys, that's just about everything. I mean, you do have your remappable paddles if you choose that customization option with your Infnity 4PS Pro, as well as the Impact has that. And like I said, just go ahead and do the Max Year Scuf, because that's going to be the cheapest way to do it, as well as color options. Because with the Max Year Scuf, now you can't do any of the phase controllers or any of the real special designs. It's just your normal shell controllers and nothing too fancy. But you can still make it look really cool like this. And with the Max Year Scuf, when you choose a color option, it doesn't add anything extra to the price. It just stays at $179.99. If you customize it on your normal customization screen, you know, if you choose colored buttons, it adds $2 or $3. If you want to do the colored triggers, $2 or $3. Trigger stops are like $15. The remappable paddles are like $20. So just go ahead and do the Max Year Scuf, guys. That's where you're gonna get your bang for your buck. And I believe that's just about everything. I've gone over everything I can think of with this controller. Now, in playability terms, like I said, last thing here, I believe I can play fine with both of these controllers. I don't believe that the Pro controller compared to the Impact is going to give you a negative experience in playing, or vice versa. I believe that they are exactly the same just because they do have the paddles. They work exactly the same. They feel pretty much the same. So you're going to be able to do the same exact thing with the Pro controller as you would the Impact controller, except the Impact controller does have the 4 paddles, so you can have all 4 face buttons to the back of it. So basically, overall guys, my opinion, I would go with the Impact controller just because you do have more features. You have the cable retention system, which I talked about. You do have more paddles, and like I said, if you don't want to use them all, you can just slide them off there. The paddles are cheaper to replace on this because you get 4 for $12.95 versus a 2 for $12.95 on the Infnity 4PS. And the big thing is that like I said, the thumbsticks, the Scuf Impact is compatible with the Scuf's thumbsticks, so if you ever want to change to the Scuf thumbsticks, you can do that, but they are also compatible with the standard PS4 thumbsticks. As you can see here, I can go ahead and throw my Control Freaks on. Now let me go ahead and show you what happens if you want to throw your Control Freak on this. Like I said, you can kind of jimmy it on there, but it doesn't really stay too well. Let me go ahead and get this on there, and it ends up lopsided a lot, and you just really have to mess with it. And then when you're playing, they'll come off. You can see there it's not even fully on. It might even take like, upwards of 5 or 6 minutes just to get it on there, and it just really doesn't stay too well. So that is my overall review, guys. I really hope you liked it. I gave you all as much information that I could think of. So if you would like more videos, please let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next, and I will definitely do a video on that for you guys. So please hit that like button. Remember, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell on so you can always see my new uploads. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.